Buckle up, folks, because we're diving into a diplomatic bombshell that's got Washington buzzing. Donald Trump, the man they said couldn't play nice with foreign leaders, just had a sit down with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Yes, you heard that right. While the Biden administration fumbles on the world stage, Trump's showing us what real leadership looks like. And now we'll give you the inside scoop on this high-stakes meeting and what it means for the future of U.S. foreign policy. Now listen up, because this is important too. While we're talking about international affairs, let's talk about your personal safety on the road. Did you know that drivers with dash cams are 60% less likely to be found at fault in accidents? That's right, a simple device could save you from legal nightmares. The CarVision X dash cam is a game changer. It records everything in 4K Ultra HD, has night vision and 24/7 motion detection. It's like having a reliable witness with you at all times. Visit carvisionx.com now for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself and your family on the road today. Okay, now President Trump met with Vladimir Zelensky, and we've got a lot of reaction from that. Charlie Kirk, this is what leadership looks like. President Trump flanked by Zelensky. I learned a lot, but I think I haven't changed from the standpoint here.
Of course, we need strongest of our soldiers, our people. Of course, it will bring us closer to the peace. We need just peace. We need just peace. It's so important to have just peace for the people, especially for the families who who lost their children. It's a big tragedy.
President Trump.
Yeah, he just wants more money, more cash. That's why he's here.
Have you changed your thoughts on how this war should end, what you think should be done, or do you still stand by some of the previous?
Well, I learned a lot, but I think I haven't changed from the standpoint that we both want to see this end, and we both want to see a fair deal made, and it's got to be fair, and I think that'll happen at the right time. I think it's going to happen. The president wants it to end, and he wants it to end as quickly as possible. He wants a fair transaction to take place, and I think, right now I'm campaigning, so right now I don't have much to do with it other than we're doing very well in terms of the campaign, and I've been saying that I believe if I win, we're going to have a very fair and I think actually rather rapid deal. It should stop, and the president wants it to stop, and I'm sure President Putin wants it to stop. And that's a good combination. So we want to have a fair deal for everybody.
What do you envision?
We need to have peace. Okay, we need to stop funding it. Okay, the Biden-Harris administration, they have done nothing to bring or to put peace on the table. All they have done is fund the aggression and amplified our steps into World War III. That's all they have done. Meanwhile, all that money, it goes in to Ukraine, comes right back out. It goes right back out to the military-industrial complex to fund the war. That's really what this comes down to, friends. Listen to this. And this is what we got. Wait till you hear RFK Jr. on this. And this is Tucker and Don Jr. again, blowing the lid off it all. Listen to this.
People, probably, right?
Well, can I ask you a question? So you do travel and speak to audiences more than anybody, more than anybody, actually, that I'm aware of, and you always have. In Washington, where I spent my whole life until recently, I don't think there are 4 Republicans in the House who've asked the questions about Ukraine than you have. Do you ever meet an audience that is like, no, we really need to keep going funding this war in Ukraine?
So I do this in a lot of the speeches. I'll do it right here because I haven't done it in a while. And I've had 2 responses. And so let's say over the last year, I've spoken to 50, 60,000 people, probably, right? Opening up for DJT, a rally, a group of 300 people here, that may be 10,000, 5,000. This is 10,000, whatever it is. And I do it. Show of hands, raise your hand if Ukraine is a top 10 priority for you in your life. Top 10. And I'll do it. Like, if it is, I'll give you the mic. How about a top 3? It doesn't exist. I found 2 people. 2 people of now, let's call it 65,000 people that I speak to weekly. That was It was not top 3, but it was top 10. First guy, sir, why? I am from Kiev, Ukraine. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to give you a pass. And the other was a guy that's like a Beltway warmonger. I was like, so you're on the board of Raytheon or something like that? He was like, well, no, not exactly. I was like, Northrop Grumman? He just walks away. You know, and yet I get the calls. By the way, what's nice about me, I'm not a politician, so I'll call out both sides. I get the calls from Republicans. Hey, Don, can you not go so tough on the Ukraine? Because, you know, some of that money is getting funneled back to, like, you know, a missile maker. And I was like, wait. I'm all about American businesses. Like, our family's done that before we got sued to, you know, like, we've done this. I get it. I want to support American business. Not if it's just for abject death for no reason around the world. Like, I'm not there to support American business in genocide. And, like, I talk to these guys, I'm like, you're making trillion-dollar decisions. Have you surveyed, like, your constituents? And they're like, well, no, but, you know, but I'm sure they took 6 figures from Raytheon, and so, therefore, you know, they're on the team. You know, they should get, like, sponsorship things. Whose payroll are you on? Because it's shocking to me that a guy like me, who grew up on the 70th floor of Trump Tower in Manhattan, again, I don't forget that. I don't pretend it didn't happen. I'm, like, very self-aware that way. But it's like, how do I know this and you don't? Like, you live there.
Exactly.
You live amongst these people. You literally chose to represent your district. I was there last week, and you have no idea what they actually stand for. And it's just...
Yep. Oh, the money comes back to us. I got this clip from RFK. I want to get to that. But this is Zelensky. He's speaking in Ukrainian. He filmed a video on the streets of New York calling his meeting with Trump productive. All the negotiations were exactly as Ukraine needed them to be. And during his visit, Biden announced $8 billion in military aid to Ukraine. Breaking news, Vladimir Putin of Russia and Donald Trump would be preparing a meeting in secret location to negotiate the end of the war and avoid World War III, the failure of the Biden administration's international relations, Kamala Harris, Zelensky, and the real threat of a third world war would have motivated the meeting to be held probably in Alaska without using their private planes. The two intended to announce the pre-agreement to the world soon. Now, this note just came out post 6 hours ago that Putin and Trump are preparing to have a meeting in a secret location. Now, I don't know how true that is, but maybe they will, and maybe they will come to some agreement.
The United States has let the Middle East get totally out of control. Really bad things are happening, all easily within our power to stop. Could lead actually to catastrophe if not handled with strength and precision. Same is true with Russia, Ukraine, and maybe even more so. We have to fix our country. We have to bring peace. Our nation is in dire trouble. I will fix it.
I certainly hope so. Let's see. We have more. Remember when RFK Jr. came out to support Trump? This was one of the main reasons why.
President Trump. And now, to throw my support to President Trump, the causes were free speech, the war in Ukraine, and the war on our children.
We need all these wars to stop. This is President Trump speaking. Listen to this.
Okay. Look at what's going on right now with Ukraine. They're surging into Russia. Okay? You're going to end up in World War III. And it's going to be a bad one.
We need to stop this. It has to end at some point. It has to end. Zelensky has gone through hell and Ukraine has gone through hell. This is when they both met. We can't play that clip from Newsmax. RFK Jr. praises Trump as the epitome of diplomacy following the meeting with Zelensky.
And if you go, so we had to expect that they would do exactly what they told us we were going to do. And if you go into Ukraine with NATO, we're going to go to war. And 2 days before, the invasion, Kamala Harris went to Germany and said definitively for the first time by any U.S. leader, we are moving NATO into Ukraine. And that is something that we all need to understand, that provocation.
That is why this is happening, because we violated the treaty.
I was so proud of President Trump because everybody says that he alienates people all over the world. He doesn't know how to be a diplomat. But he was the epitome of diplomacy, and I urge you to go look at the YouTube. He was kind and civil to President Zelensky. He was also firm in his resolve. And he said, I've had a nice meeting, but I have not changed my mind. We need a peace, and we need to do it very quickly. And we need to protect U.S. interests, not an interest of a country in which we have no strategic interest and no treaty. And he was polite, he was kind, but he was firm in protecting our country. And that's what Donald Trump will always do. So we had to expect.
That's what we need. Let's see. We have, here is Byron Donalds. This is a clip from Byron Donalds. He posted on May 12th of 2023. This was that town hall that he gave with CNN. Remember this moment?
Presidency. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
See, they want him to take a side. They are trying to put him against one or the other. Because if he says one, oh, well, then you're supporting these people. If you say this one, you're supporting these people.
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But can you say if you
want people to stop dying? It's very simple. Senator Tom Cotton, the war on Ukraine wouldn't have happened on Donald Trump's watch because it didn't happen.
Doesn't know how much more.
B, how would it exactly look? You're close to Trump in this process.
Well, he hasn't been specific, and I think that's for a reason. One, he doesn't know what the world is going to look like in another 3 months when he takes office. He doesn't know how much more Joe Biden and Kamala Harris might screw things up. But here's what we do know. This never would have happened on Donald Trump's watch because it didn't happen on Donald Trump's watch. Vladimir Putin has invaded Ukraine twice, both times with Joe Biden in the White House. First as Barack Obama's understudy, second with Kamala Harris in the White House with him. That came just a few months after the disastrous collapse in Afghanistan. Those things are not unrelated. When you project weakness, as Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have, and you suggest to your enemies that they can push you around and walk all over you, you get the kind of conflicts we see in Europe and that we see in Israel, and you get the chaos we see at our southern border. Bob, the administration just acknowledged.
I know, but
I got more. Oh, there's so much more. In his meeting with Zelensky, Trump expressed the hope that if he wins the presidential election, he can find a good solution. Marco Rubio on Meet the Press claims Trump refusing to say whether he wants Ukraine to fend off Russian aggression is just Trump talking like a businessman.
Ukraine. Well, and Senator, just following up on that point a little bit, Iran has been supplying Russia with weapons in its war against Ukraine, including drones, including short-range ballistic missiles. And yet Donald Trump will not say that he wants Ukraine to win the war. Are you concerned about
You see that on Meet the Press, echoing the same points from that CNN town hall, trying to put one side against the other. What about the side of peace? What about the side of peace? The media doesn't want it.
Message that sends to Vladimir Putin and the supreme leader?
No, because I think, unfortunately, I'm not on Russia's side, but unfortunately the reality of it is that the way the war in Ukraine is going to end is with a negotiated settlement. And I want, and we want, and I believe Donald Trump wants, for Ukraine to have more leverage in that negotiation. But in order to be in a position to be a broker who can bring about that agreement, I think he's going to preserve what he says. He approaches these things as someone not in politics or diplomacy, but as someone with a background in business. It's not going to be easy to do, but at least there's a defined goal. The Biden administration has not defined what victory means in Ukraine. They have not defined this is what victory looks like. And if you press them, they will tell you what I have just said to you, which is the way this conflict ultimately ends is with a negotiation. And so I don't know why we can't just say that. And we hope that when that time comes, there is more leverage on the Ukrainian side than on the Russian side. That really is the goal here in my mind. And I think that's what Donald Trump is trying to say, but he's going to say it like a businessman. But Biden won't even tell us what victory is.
No, victory to them is just sending more and more weapons. Okay, so here's the clip I wanted to play for you. This is so eye-opening. Why are we in all these wars? And he lays out the reason why. Listen to this.
We moved at 14. The initial question was why.
The volume is really bad.
Why are we in all these wars and who's making these decisions? Well, in 1992, we promised that.
Okay, so the volume's really bad, guys, and I'm sorry about that. But I will read you the quote of what he says. When a new nation enters NATO, the contract requires it to conform its weapons purchases to NATO spec, which means billions and billions of dollars for Lockheed, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, General Dynamics, and the other military contractors. Who owns all of those? One company, BlackRock. These are the people who are dictating what the Democrat Party does. Talk about being an eye-opening moment. So, friends, let's just pray for peace. That's what Donald Trump wants. Stop the dying. Stop the funding of the military-industrial complex. Okay? While the current administration struggles to string two coherent sentences together on the world stage, Trump is showing what real diplomacy looks like. His meeting with Zelensky proves that he is still a force to be reckoned with in global affairs. But here's the million-dollar question. What do you think this means for the future of U.S.-Ukraine relations? Could Trump be the key to ending the conflict if he wins in 2024? Share your thoughts in the comments below.